Grief is supposed to start at the goodbye. Everyone knows that. The phone call, the telegram, the door that closes, and then the mourning begins. Except that is not when it begins. Ask anyone who has loved someone through a long illness. The mourning started years before the ending did. Welcome to the Curator's Atelier. I keep the things worth remembering, the strange, the buried, the true. Tonight's a locket, and the question of why the heart starts grieving before there is anything to grieve. Come closer. Let me show you. This locket has been opened so many times the hinge no longer argues. Whoever owned it did not wear it to remember a loss. They wore it while the loss was still arriving. Watch. A hospital corridor. A woman on a bench, holding a coat that isn't hers, that she will carry home tonight and hang by the door as if nothing is different. The doctors have used a word with months in it. Nothing has ended, and she is already mourning. A kitchen. A grown son sets 2 cups down out of habit, and his father, still here, still at the table, asks him, kindly, who he is. The man they are both missing is in the room. This has a name. The people who study grief found it long ago, in the families of the ill. The mourning does not wait for the loss. It starts at the news. The easy answer is that this is a mercy. Grieve now, suffer less later, a payment plan for the heart. Start early, and the goodbye, when it comes, will find you already finished. Measured? No. When researchers followed the families of the dying, the ones who grieved hardest before the loss were not spared afterward. If anything, they carried more. The heart, it turns out, does not prepay. What did help was something quieter, being prepared, knowing what was coming, understanding it, not suffering in advance, seeing clearly in advance. Hold the locket. We're going to open it. There is a game, much loved this past year, about a painted world where a number is written in the sky. And every year, everyone of that age is simply gone. No war, no monster at the door, just an ending, scheduled. And the ones left standing set out anyway, for the sake of the ones who come after. Millions of people wept over that story, not because it was strange, because it wasn't. Every one of us loves people on a clock we cannot see. The game only painted the number where everyone could read it, and when a story makes that many strangers cry, it has usually put its finger on something the textbooks drew badly. So, the textbook, you know it. 5 boxes in a row. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. The 5 stages, the most famous map of grief ever drawn. It came from a careful listener sitting with the dying, not the bereaved. The map crossed over to the mourners on its fame, not on its evidence. Then, one day, someone measured. 233 grieving people, followed for 2 years, and the map was wrong in the kindest possible way. Denial was not the gate. Acceptance was there from the first month, quietly, from the beginning, growing. The feelings were real, but they came as overlapping waves, not doors in a corridor. Grief is not a hallway you walk down, it is weather. And of all that weather, here is what blew hardest. Not anger, not despair. In the measurements, the largest thing in grief, month after month, was yearning. Missing them. The reach toward a chair that is empty now. Which tells you what grief actually is, underneath the textbooks. Not sadness about the world. Love, with nowhere to put itself. Open the locket. You already know what's inside. It was never a picture of death. It was a picture of someone. For most of a century, the official advice was to let go, detach, withdraw the love and reinvest it, like capital. That was what healthy meant. Then researchers actually listened to the bereaved, the widows, the children, the parents, and found what mourners had always known and rarely said out loud. The relationship does not end. The dead stay with us, in counsel, in habits, in the middle of a sentence. Not as hauntings, as bonds that changed form. Whole cultures never forgot this. The West's stern little rule about letting go turns out to be local custom, not law of nature. The ones left standing go on, and they bring the person with them. There is a distinction in the research worth keeping, and it is gentle. The bonds that sustained people in the studies were the ones carried inward, the voice you consult without a phone, the recipe made the way she made it, the courage borrowed from what he'd have said. The bonds that tended to hurt were the ones that insisted nothing had changed, the searching, the waiting, the room kept exactly so, as if the loss might be argued out of. The researchers were careful, and so will I be. These are patterns, not verdicts. No one gets to audit a mourner's shelf, least of all a keeper of shelves. Look at the mourning world builds when nobody tells it what's healthy. Tables set with photographs and marigolds, one night a year. Household altars where the tea is poured for someone who cannot drink it. A name given to a grandchild, so it gets said daily without ceremony. None of this is refusing the loss. All of it is the bond, changing form, love rerouted into the world that remains. The game had it right then. The ones who go on for the ones who come after. Grief, worked all the way through, points forward. So, the true things laid side by side. Grief often starts before the goodbye, at the news, in the long corridor of almost. Grieving early is not a discount. What steadies people is understanding what is coming, not rehearsing the pain of it. It moves as weather, not stages, and acceptance is not the far door, it is in the room with you from the start. Its deepest current is missing, which is only love standing in an empty doorway. And for many, on the far side, the bond is not surrendered, it is carried. Some grief locks and will not move, and there are people whose calling is exactly that, the locked kind. Even keepers need other keepers. For everyone else, the maps say something almost merciful. You are not doing it wrong. There is no wrong. There is only weather and what you carry through it. I said this locket was worn while the loss was still arriving. Here's the other thing about it. Look at the hinge, worn soft. It was opened just as often after. The picture didn't change. The looking changed. That's all grief is in the end. The same love, learning a new way to hold its object. I'll keep it here, with the things worth remembering. Closed, but never locked. They're not the same thing.